Have you ever sat completely alone in a quiet room, minding your own business, when suddenly you get that distinct, just totally unsettling sensation that eyes are fixed right on you? You know the feeling, right? You look around, but there's nobody there. Well, let's dive into this, because today we are breaking down a chilling narrative that explores exactly that fear. Our source text drops us right into a remote village, and it is completely submerged in this unnatural silence. The wind is blowing gently, but it carries this cold, creepy whisper. And right in the middle of all this isolation is our protagonist, Ahmed. He's just hanging out in his room, scrolling on his phone, feeling that exact eerie sensation of being watched from the dark. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're exploring the midnight mirror shadow. We're going to walk step by step through the absolutely terrifying events of Ahmed's midnight encounter, looking at how the mundane, everyday safety of your own bedroom can be turned completely upside down in a matter of minutes. This really brilliantly illustrates just how fast things can escalate. I mean, at exactly 12 a.m., there's complete silence, save for that whispering wind we just talked about. But literally, 1 minute later, at 12:01 a.m., the lights in Efman's room give this faint flicker, and boom, the room is plunged into total darkness. Ahmed's heart is just racing. He's asking himself, what just happened? He slowly gets up to check the door. But here's the truly terrifying part. At 12:02 a.m., the very second his hand touches the handle, the door swings open completely on its own. How is that even possible? It's the ultimate violation of his personal safe space. Now, what's absolutely wild here is the sudden shift in sensory details. We move directly from the visual shock of the lights going out to just pure auditory terror. When that door opens, Ahmed is met with pitch black darkness out in the hallway. He can't see a single thing. But out of that darkness, from somewhere in the distance, comes a sound. Thump, thump, thump. Heavy, rhythmic footsteps approaching his room. Can you imagine the sheer hesitation there? You're staring into a literal void, and you hear something large moving steadily towards you in your own house. So, Ahmed finally gathers his courage. He takes a single step outside his room into the dark hallway. But the very moment he crosses that threshold, someone or something whispers directly right into his ear. Come back. The source text emphasizes how impossibly close this voice is. Ahmed immediately spins around, his heart completely in his throat, expecting to be face to face with an intruder. But there's absolutely no one there. It's just an empty room and a sudden rush of cold air. He's left questioning his own sanity at this point. Is there really an entity here, or is it just his mind playing cruel tricks on him in the dark? And then, the horror builds in a really unexpected way by invading the one thing we all use as our modern safety net, our smartphones. Ahmed is standing there in the cold, totally questioning his reality, when suddenly the locked screen of his mobile phone lights up completely on its own. It's such an incredibly modern twist on the classic ghost story. This entity isn't just manipulating the physical environment, like the door or the lights. It's actively manipulating his digital world too. And here is exactly what was waiting for him on that brightly lit screen. A single, ominous text message reading, "You are not alone." I mean, this is the breaking point. The source notes that Ahmed's hands actually begin to shake violently, and his breathing turns super rapid and shallow. The psychological pressure here pushes him straight into a full-blown panic. Desperate, he finally breaks the silence and shouts out into the darkness, "Who's there?" But the only answer he gets, it's a wildly aggressive physical response. Slam. Out of nowhere, the door to his room violently slams shut right behind him. It's this sudden, deafening noise that just cuts through the tension like a knife. Ahmed is now completely trapped inside this pitch-black room. The entity has effectively sealed him in. So the absolutely crucial point is what happens next. Out of pure terror, Ahmed squeezes his eyes shut, just wishing it all away. But eventually, he has to open them. When he faces the mirror, the logical expectation is that he just see his own terrified reflection staring back. But the horrific reality? He sees a dark, imposing shadow standing exactly where his reflection should be. And it has these piercing, glowing red eyes. Worse still, the shadow is slowly stepping closer and closer to him from within the glass itself. And then the shadow speaks. In this deep, terrifying voice, it asks, "Why did you come here?" The roles have completely reversed. Ahmed isn't the master of his own room anymore. He's the intruder in theirs. Ahmed starts backing away, step by agonizing step, just desperately trying to put distance between himself and those glowing red eyes. But his back hits the wall. He's completely run out of room. There is literally nowhere left to hide. The source text asks a chilling question right here. Was this to be the last moment of his life? But then, we get this sudden, really jarring reset. Just as quickly as they went out, the room's lights suddenly turn back on. Everything instantly returns to normal. The shadows retreat, and the room is just a room again. Ahmed collapses onto the floor, gasping for air, his heart just hammering in his chest. And almost immediately, the human mind's incredible ability to cope kicks in. He starts rationalizing. He desperately convinces himself that it was all just a vivid, terrifying waking nightmare, that the stress and the pitch darkness just got to him. And we, as the audience, kind of take a collective sigh of relief with him. But of course, this explainer wouldn't be complete without the final, totally devastating twist. Ahmed's false sense of security is entirely shattered. As he calms his breathing and slowly stands up, he makes the fatal mistake of looking back at the mirror one last time. His normal reflection is there, yes, but smeared right across the surface of the glass is a new message. And this one isn't a digital text on a phone. It is physically written in fresh, dripping blood. The message reads, "We are still here." It leaves Ahmed, and honestly all of us, with this suffocating sense of dread. The nightmare wasn't a hallucination at all, and it certainly isn't over. The author perfectly manipulated pacing, sensory deprivation, and even modern technology to build this inescapable trap. So what would you do if you read that exact message in your own home? It's definitely a provocative thought, and it's for sure going to make you want to keep the lights on tonight. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I will catch you in the next one.